Hi there! In this video, we are going to discuss questions where you have to complete gaps in some pictures. These can be maps, plans, flowcharts, or diagrams. They usually appear in listening parts 2 and 3. Candidates often feel nervous because these tasks look unusual and frightening. But once you've tried them and understood the principle, it's only a matter of practice, just like with any other type of questions in the test. Let's take a look at one example. It's a plan of a town library. The first thing to do is look at the whole task and check the instructions. So, what can we see? There are 5 objects to label in the plan. You should choose options from a longer list. So you don't write the words you hear, but only the letters from the list. It's got 9 options, so 4 of them are extra. Now, let's study the plan more carefully. We pay attention to where each object is and think how the speaker will talk about it. We see that question 1 is next to the library area and opposite question 2. Question 2 is on the left of the library office, immediately behind the librarian's desk. It's important to look through all the objects that are already labeled on the map. In the corner, there is a large room with question 5, and so on. So you see how we navigate through the plan and identify the location of each object. Some phrases we've just used, such as behind, opposite, next to, on the left, may well appear in the recording. The speaker may also be guiding you through the plan or map. In this case, they will use phrases like on your right, go straight on, turn left, or take the first turn on your right. This is the language of location and direction, and it helps you answer questions of this type. There are many variations, here are just a few. Location. We are now here by on the opposite side to, from here, between A and B, near the far end of, in the corner, on your left, immediately in front of, on the other side of the path. Direction. Go straight on, make your way between A and B, take the path which follows, go across, return to, walk through, go upstairs, to the north, south, east or west of. Let's go back to the task. We've analyzed it and it's time to listen. At the beginning, always identify where you are on a map or plan and mark this place. Continue to mark places as you follow the directions and move through the map. Let's now listen to where we are on the map at the beginning.
You will hear the librarian of a new town library talking to a group of people who are visiting the library.
Okay, everyone. So, here we are at the entrance to the town library.
So, you've heard that we are at the entrance. It's important not to lose track as you move from one object to another. So, listen further and label the objects in the task. Remember, for each question, you need to choose one letter from the list.
Okay, everyone. So, here we are at the entrance to the town library. My name is Anne, and I'm the chief librarian here, and you'll usually find me at the desk just by the main entrance here. So, I'd like to tell you a bit about the way the library is organised and what you'll find where. And you should all have a plan in front of you. Well, as you see, my desk is just on your right as you go in. And opposite this, the first room on your left has an excellent collection of reference books and is also a place where people can read or study peacefully. Just beyond the librarian's desk on the right is a room where we have up-to-date periodicals such as newspapers and magazines. And this room also has a photocopier, in case you want to copy any of the articles. If you carry straight on, you'll come into a large room, and this is the main library area. There is fiction in the shelves on the left and non-fiction materials on your right, and on the shelves on the far wall there is an excellent collection of books relating to local history. We're hoping to add a section on local tourist attractions too later in the year. Through the far door in the library, just past the fiction shelves, is a seminar room, and that can be booked for meetings or talks. And next door to that is the children's library, which has a good collection of stories and picture books for the under 11s. Then there's a large room to the right of the library area. That's the multimedia collection, where you can borrow DVDs and so on. And we also have CD-ROMs you can borrow to use on your computer at home. It was originally the art collection, but that's been moved to another building. And that's about it. Oh, there's also the library office on the left of the librarian's desk. OK. Now, does anyone have any questions? Yes, thank you, sir.
Let's now discuss what helped us hear each answer. Question 1 is H, reference books. The speaker says, "Well, as you see, my desk is just on your right as you go in. And opposite this, the first room on your left has an excellent collection of reference books." Phrases just on your right, opposite this, and the first room on your left help us make the right choice. Question 2 is G, periodicals. The speaker says, "Just beyond the librarian's desk on the right is a room where we have up-to-date periodicals such as newspapers and magazines." It's the second time the speaker has used the librarian's desk to help you navigate through the plan. Always pay attention to the objects that already have names on the map. Question 3 is D, local history collection. Once again, there are clear instructions for this one. If you carry straight on, you'll come into a large room, and this is the main library area. There is fiction in the shelves on the left and non-fiction materials on your right. And on the shelves on the far wall, there is an excellent collection of books relating to local history. Question 4 is B, children's books. The speaker says, "Through the far door in the library, just past the fiction shelves, is a seminar room, and that can be booked for meetings or talks. And next door to that is the children's library." Question 5 is F, multimedia. The speaker says, "Then there's a large room to the right of the library area. That's the multimedia collection." In the recording, there are some traps or distractions. Let's take a look. Between questions 3 and 4, the speaker mentioned option I, tourist information. But this is only a plan. There is no such section in the library yet. She said, "We are hoping to add a section on local tourist attractions too, later in the year." She also used the word meetings, which could make you think about E, meeting room. But it was only about using a seminar room. There is a seminar room, and that can be booked for meetings or talks. Then the speaker said that they also have CD-ROMs that you can borrow to use on your computer at home. This may sound like C, computers. So, there are 3 distractions in this task. Watch out for them in the real test. Now, let's look at our strategies and tips for map or plan completion. They will also work for diagrams. Action plan. Step 1. Look at the task and read the instructions. Step 2. Study the map carefully. Think about the location of each object. Step 3. Start listening. Find where you are on the map. Step 4. Listen further and label the objects on the map. Tips. Listen for phrases about location and direction. They help you navigate through the map. Keep track of where you are. Watch out for distractions. More options will be mentioned. Map completion task may look different. There may be a map with letters and a list of objects to match. Let's take a look. The task here will be basically the same. You need to write letters for each question. Sometimes, instead of a map, you get a diagram to complete. A diagram will show you a process, a machine, an object, or a structure, with some parts labeled and others with gaps. By and large, the task and the strategies you are going to use will be the same. Let's now briefly discuss one more type of listening questions where you have to work with the visual flowcharts. Flowcharts show steps or stages in different processes. For instance, how a film is produced or how a study or a scientific experiment are conducted. You also get gaps in the flowchart to complete and a list of options to choose from. So basically, you can use the same strategies as with maps or diagrams. But flowcharts contain more words, and there is also more paraphrasing, so you can take some strategies from notes completion task. So, eventually, this is what the strategies for flowcharts will look like. Action plan. Step 1. Look at the task and read the instructions. Step 2. Study the flowchart and the options carefully. Predict which options may go in each gap. Step 3. Listen and choose the right option for each gap. Tips. Keep track of where you are in the process. Watch out for distractions. More options will be mentioned. Everything is paraphrased. What you read in the questions and what you hear will come in different words. Listen for the same meaning, not only the same words. To learn about other types of questions in the listening test, watch more videos in this course.